The dude who lives across the street from me went to jail for trying to beat a disabled kid to death on my elementary school sidewalk. He's an alcoholic and is always drunk. Basically, he befriended this kid from his church who was in a wheelchair. The kid was like 14 or 15. He was 18 or 19. One day, my neighbor invited the 14-year-old over while he was super drunk. Then he took the kid outside, threw him out of his wheelchair, dragged him to the sidewalk by my elementary school, and beat him until he thought he was dead. It was the middle of the night. Then he went to the kid's house, got his mom, and dragged the mom to her son's body so she could see what he had done. She managed to call the police and an ambulance just in time, but her son's disability worsened and he's traumatized for life. When I was about 8 years old, I remember this time my brother and I were waiting for our bus to pick us up from school, and it was still dark outside. It was a pretty small town, so our bus had to drive pretty far to come get us. I remember it was pretty cold outside, so we would set our backpacks on the ground and sit on them and bundle up in our coats while we waited for the bus to come. We both saw this figure walking down the road toward us, and we thought it was one of the older kids coming to the bus stop. When he got close to us, we noticed it was a man, and he was carrying a shovel. He came up to us and asked if we saw someone walk by there not too long ago. We both said no, and he walked off in the other direction. I didn't think much of it as a kid because I didn't make any connections, but I think about it now as an adult and think, holy shit, that guy was carrying a shovel looking for some guy, and the sun hadn't even risen yet. It was strange for sure. A lot of strange stuff happened where I used to live that I think about often. When I was around 6, I was outside in my balcony sitting on a chair. It was like very late, and when I turned around, the door was opening and closing by itself. It wouldn't HV been the wind BC. There was no wind, and the door is like heavy, and it couldn't have been someone because the door was locked. It also couldn't have been my family or someone with the key. Otherwise, there would have been a shadow and sounds of the keys unlocking the door. When I was 11 years old, I was left home with my sister, who was 2 at the time. I was downstairs, and I hear a loud bang, and then footsteps. So I got mine and my sister's shoes on and went to my neighbor house. And then my brother got home, and he went in and ran back out. He claimed he also had heard the noise. When we went back in, no one was there, and I just found out that children died in my house. I have seen them before a lot when I was in year 7.